spring tensioner loose and will come off. Spring tensioner, so if I just cable tie this around this section, I can leave my front cover on while I do the head gasket change. Then on the other side I'll be putting wire and hanging it from up here so that it keeps the chain from falling down. Before I actually undo anything, it's going to be marked with the paint pen. Is mark all the sprockets on both sets and the chain. Attach some wire to this chain. Undo these sprockets and take this front sprocket off. Also have to undo a couple of bolts, I think, that are attached to the head here, and so does this little one here. Wire holding onto the chain so it doesn't fall down in. Taking the OSV back a little so it's not attached to the head. All that has to come off now is these, so I can pull the sprocket away. Just been tapping lightly on the back of this. There we go. And I might attach something else as well just to keep it in position. I've gone an extra step and added wire E12. So all the bolts are off. So I've cleaned one of the tops of the piston. Eucalyptus oil. The brass one doesn't hurt the aluminium surface. I did a flat surface check on the block. The actual surface is dead flat. The bottom of the head flatness as well, and clean up the cam lobes. So done one side. Just making it a bit cleaner. It's ready to go back on. New head gasket. Gets down over the dowels in position. So I got it on the locating pins. The only bit that made it a little bit difficult was this OSV. It was just a little bit in the way. I had to hold this back just in that position to get the dowel to sit in place, obviously. We're only talking 5mm there, but it's on. And it's time to install the new stretch bolts. These are the old ones, so they're the washers I need to put on the new. There's 10 new ones in this bag. Got 10 new ones from L-Ring as well, so from 2 different places I got 10 each. Same thread, but I'll check them against the old ones, and whichever one looks more the same, I'll go with it. It does look like the upper part here is a little wider on this. I think it's Rains, this one. There's the same thread and depth from the nut to the thread, but just has a slightly thinner built-in washer. And then the L-ring has the same thickness as the original, but it's a bit wider there. I'm not sure if that's going to be able to work. So I've installed all of the L-ring head bolts, 22 foot-pounds, E12 into a 1/2 inch. That gave just enough clearance for the wrench over these oil line threads. So I've done and now just here I need to place my degrees gauge, 80 degrees on each, and then 80 degrees again.
So the dial is on 0.
Need to go to 80. They've all got 80, one round, round 2. So 22 foot-pounds on all, and then 80 degrees twice. Cam locks on. There. I just turned this a slight amount, put them back on. All of my markers are aligned as per when I took this thing apart. I just need to undo this wire and place it back on. So when I tighten this, it just has to line up with this line here, and I know I've got the torque correct, and I can just go about putting all the other ones on as well. So I just torqued these back up to 11 Newton meters, and I can take this wire off now, which I had on there to keep the chain from falling into the engine. Now it's safe to take this out. So I'll be holding the chain up soon on this side, removing the other head. So one side done. These are torqued back up to 11 foot-pounds. And the line I drew across there before I took them off, I was actually interested to see whether the torque spec they tell you, which is 11 foot-pounds for these, is actually how tight it was from the factory, which it was, because I drew this line on this bolt, which went straight across, and I tightened it to 11 foot-pounds. That's exactly where, here and here, I do have to turn this against this alloy part here, And once that's back in position, all I need to do is put my OSV back on, and there's a couple of bolts out that need to go back in on the guide rail, and then that's done. I could do the same job on this side. The 1 to 4 bank locks on. I've undone the E12 bolts on the sprocket. I've placed wire through the sprocket and this just to hold onto it, and the chain's being held. So now we just need to take the sprocket off. I'll pull that outwards and it'll just sort of hang out from the head, and then I can lift the head off. The head is now removed. Bank 1 to 4. Seems a bit oily around here, and you can see there's a lot of deposits on it. I wonder if that gasket just wasn't sealing quite well anymore. You can see where all that oil was appearing from. It's actually coming out of the bottom of the gasket. So there's my little chain holding setup. It's off. Looks like the leaks were down the bottom. Little oil going into this cylinder and not the others. Done a bit of a steam clean. As you can see, I've been cleaning the tops of the pistons and the head surface. It's not quite fully clean yet, but I've been scraping it. I did a test at night time with the torch behind a flat level on all angles, and the head is not warped because I'm changing these head gaskets due to the vehicle doing 305,000 Ks and having an upper oil pan leak. So changing every seal and pulling the engine was a good idea.